Hey everyone, so I wanted to show you what the Book of the Dead converted looks like. This is a scene I made. I add this the basic standard character controller from Unity, so it's kind of jerky on these stones and logs and whatnot, but I also add a random skybox and changed the line around. I think it's kind of pretty. But this is kind of what it looks like with the standard shader render pipeline. I guess the standard render pipeline, not sure what you would call it, but not HDRP. Most of these shaders are now custom shader actually that I made with Amplify Shader Editor. So you're welcome to use those as well. This scene itself is not included in the package. The demo scene is with the converted textures or materials rather, but the moving around and stuff is not included, neither is the skybox. I got that from the asset store. But I just wanted to show what it looks like before we get into the contents of the package, which I'll show right now. Alright, so this is what the package looks like, and this is the demo project. I'm still baking the light maps. I accidentally changed something, now that I have to bake again. It takes about an hour and a half to bake. But this is the demo scene as you'd find it in Book of the Dead. Now inside this scene, and this is a standard render pipeline. So we've got the README file, definitely read that. It's got the specifics of what's in the package itself. We have a few things. We've got the custom shaders made with the Amplify Shader Editor. Original materials are now set to use the custom shaders rather than the HDRP shaders, otherwise they'd be pink and they're not. If you go to my website infinitypbr.com and register the purchase, you can download the painter files, the Substance Painter files I use to create the new textures, which are for most of the objects. There's actually two versions for many of them. We'll get into that in a second. And those are all in this project as well. And then we've got the prefabs containing the new aspects all set up, so you can move and do everything more quickly, and the new overlay scene. So an important thing here is, for the sake of efficiency and organization, all the new materials don't they share any of the original art from the Book of the Dead that they can. Otherwise, of course, would be duplicating the number of normal maps, and we don't need to do that. That's a ridiculous thing. And so the way I've structured this is all the original stuff that you can find in the Book of the Dead download, which you should definitely grab from the Unity Asset Store, if for no other reason, just to see how they worked it in the HDRP pipeline that was available a year ago, is right in here. I've stripped out a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff wasn't needed. So we've got these terrain things. Not sure what these are. These, I think, are custom. I just don't even know what these are, but without these, the demo doesn't work right, so I brought those over. This is how I got all the objects over. I made prefabs for them and just brought them over, and that's why you see the scene set up like this. So you really don't need to touch those. And this is just literally for a demonstration of the objects and how they work inside this this conversion and new art thing. And then this is the original artwork. You've got all the terrain art and the data and the all the stuff from here, so you can go through and it's all here. These are the maps that they came with, but we've seen now if you go to the materials, oh, the materials aren't there anymore. But now if you click on the prefabs, you can see that they are working, and if we were to bring that in here and select one of the LODs, you'll see that the shader is now just the standard shader, and we have these all right here, and that's for the new content. So there's a mixture of things here between stuff that worked and stuff that didn't work with the conversion, but in general the original files are going to be mostly in the original assets here. You will find some materials that reference the new content, and you'll find new content that references the original content. So you really need both of these in the scene to make this work, in your project to make this work. In the new content, you'll find the shaders, which are all Amplify Shader Editor shaders. You'll find the materials. These are for all the materials, and you'll notice I don't know why Amplify Shader Editor is throwing this bug. I'm contacted the creators of Amplify Shader Editor to see if I can fix that. It's a warning. It doesn't break anything, but it's just annoying that it's there. But you can see like we've got different versions of this rock 31 light and dark. In fact, if we look for rock 31, I kept a naming convention because I wanted to make it a little easier rather than naming everything. So you can actually see, maybe not this one. There we go. This one versus mine and the others. So there's different looks that you can get from my new ones than the old ones, if that makes sense. So that's the materials. In the textures here, you're going to find all the textures for those materials, and most of them are just going to have, maybe even all of them are just going to have a new diffuse, because they can share the normal map and the mask map or roughness and metal rough map from the other project. So I need to move those over to the materials here. Do that now. There we go. So you'll find all of these in there. And then finally the prefabs. These are the prefabs that use the new textures. As you can see here, there are two versions of many of them, a fall version and a green version. So you can use those as you see fit. The other scene, if you go back to the demo scenes folder, we've got the overlay scenes. So let me just load that up real quick. So as you can see, I've got all the different objects laid out. These are all using the new textures when possible. So you can just see, and the new shaders as well. So you just get a sense of what they all look like. They're not, the light map's not currently baked, so there is that. But you can see the differences between the two, the dark rock and the light rock, and whatnot. So there's a lot of options there, a lot of options to use. And unlike Book of the Dead, this should work going forward for most Unity versions in the future. Unfortunately, it looks like Book of the Dead will not be working in future Unity versions, I guess due to the way the SRP works or something. That's very sad, very unfortunate. It's an amazing demo. It looks gorgeous. It plays gorgeous. My characters look gorgeous in them, so I'm really bummed that that's not going to be something that we can all use going forward. So if you have any questions, let me know. This will be available soon, I hope, on the Unity Asset Store and my own website, infinitypbr.com. Thanks.